Friends, here is what I feel is the best $50 knife on the market right now. And it is a buck, and it's in this box right here, and I am going to do a full review. And let me tell you, this for sure is an American-made knife, unlike the last review I did. Alright, and what we have here, if you haven't guessed already, is the Buck Spitfire. Alright, and let's get this thing unboxed. Alright, so as you can see, if you peek in there, this one is in the orange aluminum handle. And let me tell you, I was perplexed on the idea of ordering a custom one, because you can get these custom, but, you know, I wanted the 440. I wanted the orange aluminum handle, and there was no reason to spend the more money for the custom, so I got this one here. So let's take an up close and personal look at it, and then we're going to go outside and do a review against the CJRB Hectare. Alright, but before we do, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it to any of your friends who might like similar knife content. That's what keeps the channel going. Alright, so we're going to start out with the up close and personal on this knife. And you can see it's got this big old honky heavy duty pocket clip, but it's not a deep carry. It's going to leave a little bit, about 3/4 of an inch sticking out of your pocket, at least a 1/2 inch. But it's good, strong. It's got 3 screws holding it on, and it looks very durable. Next up is this large thumb hole for opening, and let me tell you, it felt very good. It's chamfered nicely, no hot spots. Last couple Spydercos I got had sharp edges I had to clean up, but this one feels very good. Even though the knife is a bit on the stiff side, it's going to need some oil. We'll take care of that here in just a little bit. And I'm trying to see if it's a one-handed opening, because this is the first time I've had one of these in my hand. You know, I think if you learn to get to know the knife, I think it'll get easier. And let's go ahead and take a look at this blade. Alright, clean it off first. Alright, take a look at it. So it's a hollow grind. It's got a little bit of a recurve to the bottom. It's got this handsome Buck USA right there. And that flat spot is going to make it great on my Hapstone sharpener. Alright, so we got a stamp here. Let's see what we got. T22, looks like an M. I'm not sure what that means. This side of the blade doesn't have anything, but you can see that recurve right here. And it's got a nice belly, and it's got a hollow grind. Alright, and it's got this swedge up here. Now that is a beveled swedge. It's not rounded, so it does have a sharp spine. I mean, it's not sharpened, but it's a sharp edge. Got jimping here along with the end of the blade, and we got some more jimping down here at the bottom where your pinky would be in a normal hold. You got your 3 screw holes on both sides, so you can take that pocket clip and move it to any of the 4 corners, point up, point down. There is your mainspring and your back spacer in there, so it is a fully enclosed. Alright, it's not skeletonized. And there's your jimping for your thumb ramp on the back of the spine of the blade. And let me tell you, it feels really good in the hand. I mean, seriously, this is a good feeling knife. Remember, I got 2 extra large hands, big old meat eater hands, you know. And man, this knife just feels really good. And got plenty of room for my big old fat finger up there, but it's not overly done. You know, look at that. Right? I'm not worried about cutting my finger on that. Okay, but it gets me right to it. If I'm cutting some real fine stuff, I can get right up to that blade. I love the shape of the thumb hole. I like the hollow grind. You know, and it's 440 stainless. I love Buck's 440 stainless. I wouldn't want S35VN or any of their other offerings. I'd want that 440 stainless. And I think once this knife gets worn in, it's going to be plenty easy to open and close. It's very lightweight. It's got a nice Torx bit there, and the other side is solid, so hopefully they're pressed in or something, so all you need to do is have one bit instead of two. That might make it easier and nicer. One day we'll take the knife apart, but we're not going to do it in this review. You got that big old lanyard hole. Look at it right there. You can fit anything you want in there, and it's in a good spot. I like that. You know, said it before, Buck's been making knives for a long time, and it shows. You know, there's a lot of thinking going into making a knife. What I'm doing here is I just want to lube up that pivot point, and I'm using some of my One Angry Kid knife protectant and lubricant. Alright, I got that at oneangrykid.com if you want to buy some. One word, oneangrykid.com. Go there and you can buy that knife oil. But there's no reason to put a protectant on this knife because it's aluminum, stainless steel. Shouldn't rust. So the only thing I got to do is keep that pivot point lubricated, and my oil will do a great job at that. Alright, it's already getting a little freed up, a little bit smoother. Just gotta, my fingers are a little lubed up too from putting it on there, but that's fine. I mean, alright, so let's look at this knife. So we got a blade that's just almost 4.5 inches closed. A blade length that is about 3 1/8, 3 1/16 to 3 1/8, and a sharpened edge of 2 7/8. And you can see that recurve up against that straight edge right there. Alright, so we got a width of 3/8 of an inch. So that's a pretty thin blade. Should go in your pocket. Very nice. Alright, let's see how it cuts. Nice. Very nice. Last couple bucks I got didn't cut very good out of the box. This one is a lightsaber. Perfect. I haven't even hit the leather strop. I don't think I even need to. Wow. Okay, so the CJRB Hectare was sharp out of the box. Buck's is every bit as sharp as that knife. Great job. I just can't give it enough thumbs up. Alright, beautiful knife too. Look at that thing. Alright, let's just do some specs, more specs. Let's find out the weight. Alright, nobody wants a knife that's going to pull their pants down and put in their pocket. 3.25 ounces. That's very fair. That's very fair. Okay, it's not as light as the Benchmade Taggedout. Alright, Benchmade Taggedout is a $170 knife, and it's only 2.15, okay, because I got that Lynch clip on there. So it's 3/4 ounces, well, I'm sorry, about an ounce, a little over an ounce, 1.25 ounces lighter. But, you know, Spitfire's only 49 compared to 180. Pair of two. Okay. It's got a Lynch clip on it too. It's a bigger knife. Alright, let's see if we can compare them here together. Alright. It's not a knife review about the Paramilitary 2, is it? Knife that started it all. Alright. Very comparable. You know, the Buck has a lot more belly to the blade. That's one of Spyderco's weaknesses on their military series, is they got such a straight blade. That belly makes it nice. This one's got the hollow grind, full flat grind on the Spyderco. Spyderco's tapered all the way from the base of the spine to the tip, where the Buck's pretty much flat. They call that double distal tapering on the Spyderco. But the Spyderco is 3.25, so right there with it. Alright, how much does a Sod Buster Jr. weigh? 2.12, just for a reference for you case guys. Let's bring out the large Sod Buster, 3.35. So it's the same weight. The Buck Spitfire is the same weight as a synthetic large Sod Buster, 3.25. Right on the money, okay? That Sod Buster's got nylon handles instead of aluminum, so it's saving some weight there, but you got a bigger blade on that large Sod Buster. Let me tell you, if you haven't seen my review, this large Sod Buster, great knife. That's my barbecue knife. This buck's going to be my fishing knife. So let's go ahead and take it on down by the water and do a compare to the CJRB Hectare. So what I wanted to do was compare the buck Spitfire to the CJRB Hectare, because they both are very similar. Similar size blade. The handles, you know, have lanyard hole. They're about the same size. You know, both of these are $50 knives. They both have a nice belly to the blade. They both have a forward choil. Hectare, it does have the G10 handles, and it has this access lock here. So it would be easier to open one-handed if it wasn't for this spot right here, which I complained about in my review. See, it's got that bump right there, right in front of the hole. If you look at the buck Spitfire, they were smart. They didn't put that right there. But it's a little harder to close one hand. You can do it, but check this out. See how easy you got access to that thumb hole? That's where the Hectare screwed it up. That's where Buck, designing knives for a long time, knows what they're doing. Now they did put, it's a lock back. I mean, that's just a style knife it is. They can't help that. You know, they have other style knives. But CJRB decided to use this access lock style. Alright, and the CJRB has a deep carry pocket clip compared to the Spitfire's not so deep. But you know what? It's not deep, but it's a lot nicer. It's a lot sturdier. I think it's going to last a lot longer. Alright, the one on the CJRB is kind of cheap. Alright, so I wanted to cut some things. The first thing I got some paracord out here. And first that CJRB was slicing right through it. And I brought the buck out. And I was struggling with the buck Spitfire. And all it was is the geometry of the angle. Once I realized that both knives have a different geometry, I think they performed pretty evenly. Okay, it's just getting used to the knife and knowing your knife. They're both going to cut that cord just as easy. So no clear winner there. They're both pretty even. Next up was the cardboard test. Buck went through it real nice, as you can see. A hollow grind tore right through that cardboard. But then we got the Hectare out here. And you know what? When it comes to cardboard, I think that full flat grind is going to win over the hollow grind. But where the hollow grind of the Spitfire is going to show is right here. Carving these sticks. Alright. Just going to go in there and get a bite on that wood a lot faster than that full flat grind, because it's thinner behind the edge. Now, one thing I had a problem with, if you can see right here, is that swedge on the back of the knife. Alright, it's not rounded, it's beveled. Talked about that in the tabletop review. So it leaves it kind of sharp. Creates a hot spot. Doesn't leave me much room to put my thumb right there. Okay, now then in the pull cutting towards me, that's what I call it. Alright, performs very well. Very comfortable. No hot spots whatsoever. The other thing is you're getting your hand right up close to the blade of that knife. You know, that forward choil's not overly done. And you can get up there. Let me show you, because on the Hectare, that's the problem with the Hectare. See how big that forward choil is? It's huge. Okay, it looks cool. Yeah, you get your finger in there. It's great. But when you do the pull cutting like this, well, look how far out your edge starts away from where your hand is. Okay, well, that reduces the leverage you have on the knife. There's a dead spot there, ½ inch or more of dead spot on that knife that you can't use. Alright, other than that, you know, I'd say the blade thickness is pretty much dead on, except for that hollow grind on that Spitfire is thinner behind the edge. The handle on the Spitfire is a little bigger, a little bit more comfortable, and the thumb hole is easier to open. The Hectare has the access lock, and the Spitfire has a lockback, makes it a little bit harder to close. But let me tell you, for $49, right, you can get this delivered Amazon Prime, $49 out the door. This is the best bargain knife. That steel aluminum handle, it's corrosion resistant. I can take it out on the boat. I don't have to worry about it. All I gotta do is lube up that pivot every once in a while, and it's a great knife. It's your choice. I choose to buy American when I can, but thanks for choosing to watch my video. Please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it with your friends. Thanks to everybody who supports the channel.